I may have met him at the Opry, to tell you the truth. I mean, that's when I was playing with Skeeter Davis and doing the Opry with her, and I was getting ready to go overseas to Europe to do a European tour with her, and I wanted some extra money, and I had 3 of those Blackguard tellies. I had a 51 and 2 53s, and I'm thinking, well, I could sell one of those, and I ran into Hazel Smith, who was secretary for the Giesenslaw guys, you know, and they had an office downtown, and she was a secretary there, and I told her about it, and she says, I had a guitar. She said, well, Waylon's looking for one of those. He's got his office there. Why don't you come by in the morning? Sure you like to see it. So I go by there and show it to him. I think I paid $350 for it. I think he paid me $450 for it, you know. So I had some extra spending money in to go to Europe in. And and the reason I know it was a guitar, because his main guitar, because it had a hole in the top of it, right where the control panels are on the telly. There was another hole that went all the way through the guitar. You could see, you know, just like somebody was going to change the jack to the top, but they decided to put it back where it went. So I didn't know he still played it or what, but I knew I sold him a guitar, and it was a good guitar, you know. And so I knew a lot of people that worked with Waylon and some of the guitar tech guys, and they said they took the leather case off of it. And I said, was there a hole on the top? And they go, yeah, we just didn't know why it was there. And I said, well, that's the guitar I sold him. And they go, well, that was his main guitar. Well, I've had some arguments with people online. Well, I've got his first guitar. I've got his guitar. And I went, well, just take the cover off to see if there's a hole in it. Well, I know it is. Well, they won't do that. But I know there was a hole in the one I sold him. And my buddies said there was a hole in there when they took the leather cover off to clean it up or something. You know, they just discovered this hole. So I know that's how, that was his main guitar. I think his son, that's the one he plays. I could be wrong. You know how those things go. But
where were you when you did the exchange, when he showed up to look at it? Do you remember if he played it through an amp?
No, I went to his office, to the Glazer Brothers office down on Music Row, where Hazel was there, and Waylon had an office there, and I went in there and just showed it to him. I don't think he plugged it in or anything. He just liked it, and it gave me $450 for it then, you know. So that's kind of where it was.
That was a nice amount of money back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, he gave me some money to go buy my mom and dad some presents, you know, going to Norway and wherever we went. I mean, it was my first out of the country visit for a Texas boy, and I'm going, I got to bring back something. You know.
Do you remember where you got that guitar from?
I think I found it in an ad in the paper is how I got it, you know. I was always looking for guitars, still am, always looking for guitars, mandolins, basses, whatever. Just I was always into the vintage thing, even when it wasn't vintage, but I knew it was cool stuff. And Cale's the one that got me into that, thinking, well, I mean, I'd played with Cale then, but he didn't talk to me about that kind of stuff. But I was into stuff like that ever since, you know, playing old mandolins and looking for great mandolins and have, you know, that kind of stuff is just what I've always loved to do and appreciate a great instrument. And ones they make now are kind of, you know, they're new. You know, but it was just another old telly. That's the only reason I got it, and I knew those were valuable. And like I said, I had a 51 no-caster, which means it was, you know, between broadcaster and Telecaster. And God, I wish I had never sold that guitar. It was just great. And I had these other 253s. And I go, well, I got enough of these, and now I have none. You know, but back then it was to have 3, and I thought, well, I can get rid of one of these and have. It was just as good as the other 53. So, but the 51 was really great. And I got some great pictures of that and some other great guitars that are very rare and mandolin stuff, you know. This is 75, because that's when I was going to Europe. It was in 75, and I'd been playing with Skeeter on the Opry that year. And then I played with her like about 5 more years on the Opry. But I'd go out with different people on the road, and she let me do that when I'd go play, but that was in 75.
Did you ever cross paths with Waylon again after that?
Yeah, there's a picture somewhere of us playing with Waylon, you know, but I mean, I never really got to be friends with Waylon. Seems like I did some around Willie or something. Well, I did 2 cross paths. I played a Willie Nelson's 4th of July picnic in July, the second year he had it at the racetrack in Bryan, Texas. Oh, he was great. I mean, Waylon, I was around him some other times when he played and stuff. I mean, I just never was tight with the guy, and I knew a lot of his band members. I know B. Spears played with him before he played with Willie, because Waylon came down and heard our bluegrass band when I was playing at the Carousel Club when we first moved here, like in '74. Waylon came down there and heard us playing because it was just a Carousel Club, and I remember B. Spears was with him, who right after that went on to play with Willie. I think he played with Willie before Waylon, and then Waylon, after Waylon, he went back to Willie. So B and I were friends till he died, but that was, so I was around Waylon a little bit, but not, we didn't hang out or nothing together. But
did you know Richie Albright at all?
Oh yeah, I loved Richie. Richie was great. He was really went to Richie's 60th birthday party, surprise birthday party, I think it was. Richie was just the greatest guy. I mean, he was a great guy, and so down to earth, and he worked hard. I mean, when Waylon quit playing, he went to work for doing survey. He was doing land survey when he was, 65 years old, out there cutting brush and stuff. He just didn't stop. He just was a real great guy. There wasn't anything better than Richie Albright, let me tell you. And a great drummer and a great producer. Yeah, well, he was Waylon's man till he died, and like I said, and then he had to, but he kept doing other stuff. I know what Richie did. He just couldn't sit still. As the kind of guy that's not going to go, okay, I did that, now I'm going to lay back. He kept on it going. What it was, I'd been playing with a group I started playing with a group called Barefoot Jerry, and they were in town, Wayne Moss and those guys, and I was playing bass. So we rehearsed for 2 weeks to go down to the Willie Nelson picnic. 2 days before we were getting ready to go, they come to me and said, look, our bass player decided he wants to do, this be his last show, so we want you to stay home. And I went, well, man, my mom and dad think I'm coming to Houston to see him and all this stuff. I mean, I've already, that really made me kind of mad. So I flew down there the night before the concert, went to Houston to see my mom and dad, and got my dad's truck and drove up there and took my mandolin case with me. And I'd already been recording with Willie and Leon about 3 months before. So, they really liked me, and they welcomed me with, So I go to the back gate where you're supposed to get in. I didn't have a pass, but I had my mandolin, but I knew the guy's name who was going to take my place playing bass. And I gave the guy at the back gate that guy's name. He said, oh, yeah, you're on here, come on in. So I go in with my mandolin case. As soon as I walk in the door, there's Leon's manager, Lenny Cardell, standing right inside the gate. He goes, oh, Kenner, man, I can't believe you're here. Leon's going to love knowing you're here. So come on over here. He's with Willie. So I go there to Winnebago, and they're in a Winnebago. So we sit there all day long. And they kept telling me, we're going to get you in, and we're going to get you on stage sometime. We don't know when. Well, here the day goes on. It's so hot and brine this day. It's a racetrack. I mean, it's smoldering. And I'm seeing all these people come along and play. Barefoot Jerry gets up there and plays 4 in the afternoon when it's the hottest. And I'm sitting in a Winnebago having fun with Willie and Leon, just having a ball. And then I run into the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band there. And they're going to play. Well, they think I'm something because I knew John McEwen. I knew most of the Dirt Band. And so they said, do you want to go to New York next week and play with us, be our special guest? I went, well, yeah, great. So that's another whole great story. But that's how I got introduced to those guys to go play on the road with them, was they think I'm somebody here. I just slipped through the back gate and I'm doing all this stuff. And if you listen to that concert, that Willie Nelson 4th of July, I didn't know this till I ran into Mickey Raphael one day at a supermarket here, and he goes, Kenner, he said, man, have you heard the video or seen the video of the 4th of July? I said, no, I hadn't seen it. He said, man, your mandolin's all over the last song, Good Night I Ring, and that's the only song I played, but it was Waylon and Willie and the boys, with Leon Drunker and Cooter Brown. My gosh, if you watch that, you can watch that video, and you can hear me playing mandolin, Good Night Irene, at the 4th of July picnic in '74. And it just sounds really good, my mandolin does. But I got, but it was so cool. That's the way it all worked out. I couldn't have mapped this thing out,
What do you remember about the audience that day? What was the audience in 1974 like for the picnic?
They were drunk. They were high. They were drunk. Girl sitting on top of a guy's shoulder with no tops on, and I'll never forget when, So backstage, and I'm waiting to go play. I don't know when this is going to be because Leon's kind of so drunk. He's just, but this girl comes up on stage and just has nothing on. And she gets up there and she walked by me going to the stage. I just let her go where she wanted to go and gets up there and starts hugging on Waylon, hugging on Willie, hugging on Leon, and kind of like he's looking around like, yeah, this is great, And I'm going, oh, wow, I can't believe it. But it was packed as far as you can see, one of those concerts where you can't see the horizon for the people. You know what I mean? It was really cool. But there was a lot of hot, sweaty hippies and redneck cowboys there. They were all in there together, and they were just having a ball. And that's where Willie's ball started rolling. So, oh yeah, no, they had shows like that since. I mean, I played some other Willie shows with Leon, 4th of July things, and it was the same thing, just to see people, see rednecks, hippies, and cowboys all together having a ball,